Hey, what's going on, Bandit? Can you hear me? How does this mic sound? Is it any better? Hey, what's up, John? How you guys doing tonight? Cool, cool. I've been trying to get into unboxing some of these fireworks that I've got now. Cool, cool. Good. These this payday one here by Fathead Fireworks. That's new to me. 90 shot fan cake. And then up here we've got a million missiles by Raccoon Brand Fireworks. Pretty sweet. Eh? It's 12 packs of 300 and then two 90 shot cakes. I tried to get a few more fan cakes this year because I completely left them out last year. I did. I didn't get a single fan cake and I missed them a little bit. So might have went overboard with that this year. I got a lot of angled stuff. And this is part of my firecracker collection. Pretty sweet. What do you think, man? Is anybody still here? That'd be cool. So what about you, Bayou Bandit? You into the pyro down there? You ever throw any depth charges in after the gators and shit? I never spent any time in the bayou, but I've drove a truck and I used to pass through a lot of different places. And there was one place in Louisiana I was going through that it's like January, but it reminded me of here in about July. The weather was perfect, the green trees, the mountains is all great. I was like, this is nice. I don't even remember what the place was called, but I remember it reminded me of home in the summertime. So I was like, this is sweet. It was weird being in California, standing out in 80-degree weather and it's grass, and calling home and it's dark and a ice storm. What's up, Georgia Pyro? How's it going, man? How's the road trip? You back home yet, man? That's a pretty epic trip you took, man. I'm jealous as hell. That looked like a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, Jed. I appreciate you stopping by, man. From Ireland, eh? Cool. My family lives just from Scotland. I found another fake ball shell, man. The old Dragon Black Box Artillery are now fakies. Yup. The old black box are fakes as hell now. They've got a plastic ball with a cylinder in them, but they're actually pretty damn good. But they're fake too now. Been around forever. Cool, man. Did you get a lot of goodies? Those are fake as hell too now in the black box, but they're decent. I mean, I can't really fault them for being bad canister shells, but they're no longer balls. Hell, I thought those would stay balls forever, man. Hey, Paladin UFO, how you doing? You come up with any crazy shit today? Build anything good? I'm sure you didn't come home empty other than your wallet after going on a trip like that, man. I know how pyro gets. I usually spend every time I got on me. Taking a day off, eh? That's always good. Take a little hiatus. I got a sweet new banner. I got a flamingo bomb banner and a multi logo banner. It's got fat head, mean monkey, and foul fireworks brand on it. Looks like some pretty cool shit. Damn. Man, you always get the good shit, dude. I swear. I can't travel like that back when I used to, man. All my homies are spread out so far. By the time we get together, it's an undertaking. And we still do for the 4th of July and stuff. For my buddy Dave, man, he's been my homie for almost 30 years now. He never misses the 4th of July. It's kind of messed up though. His brother was killed on the 4th of July. And he was supposed to come to our show and watch the fireworks, but he stayed home and got drunk and started shooting his rifle off in the backyard on the 4th into the sky, and the cops come by and shot him in the head. So but he was the kind of guy that he wouldn't want us to stop doing our thing. He'd be like, screw it, party, have a good time. Yeah, it was messed up because he wasn't shooting at them cops. He had my AK, and he's been a hunter all his life. If he's doing anything like that, they would have been dead. They just seen the gun, got excited, and shot the dude. Yeah, UFO builder there is, but we can't say names or really talk about it or anything because we have to protect the product from getting pulled off the shelves. If you notice, my firecracker collection here is all turned to the side, so you can't really see the name other than the Crazy Kings, and they're like they've been out forever, so you're not really gonna hurt anything there. But the Crazy Kings are better than an M80, and they're the smallest cracker in that stack. Damn, man. Well, at least you took a different path, then. It's like me, man. A lot of my buddies and stuff that I grew up with are either in prison or they OD'd and died chasing pills and shit. A lot of family members. It sucked. But, pyro time is my happy time, so let's not even think about that. Yeah, man, this is just the pyro that I've got in a box. I haven't unboxed anything from getting my shipment in other than a couple cases so far. These fat head paydays, 90 shot fan cakes, and these a million missile 300 Saturn shots by Raccoon brand. And up there we got a little something, something. And then the most powerful of all, the most powerful firecracker. You gotta watch these little guys. Yeah, if that don't make you reevaluate things and there's something wrong with you. Dude, that was an epic trip. I watched every minute of it too, man. Tape rats to the big bottle rockets. That's an experiment I haven't tried, to be honest, but I have launched frogs, unfortunately, back when I was a kid and I was crueler. But I built a big Saturn VI missile that was like 6 feet tall, had multiple stage and everything, and it all worked. It was awesome. Didn't go that high, even with a shit ton of big rocket motors in it because it was so massive, but all the sections coming off and working like they should was pretty impressive. I just put it together. It was a kit. I mean, I didn't build it from scratch or anything, but it was pretty cool. I was the only kid at school during the model rocket competition that was trying to make my rocket rig to blow. I had it stuffed full of powder so when the charge that blows the parachute out, it would ignite and blow it like a skyrocket, but it didn't work. Caused it to be top heavy, and then it went through the field and towards the home ec building, and it stuck nose cone first into the bulletin board. And they were telling me I couldn't go get it. I'm like, bullshit, that's my rocket. Something I've always wondered, UFO, this Elon Musk, where he's making these reusable rocket stages and stuff like that. Why is he trying to land them like some bad sci-fi movie on their tail fins? Why isn't the rocket like a combination rocket drone? So when it hits lower atmosphere, it cruises like the space shuttle, and then lower atmosphere it goes drone. It could land like that instead of trying to land tail first. That seems retarded. I sent him the plans I had for it, but he probably won't pay attention to me. Lunch and rat. Yeah, man, I don't like rats or anything, but that's a little fucked up. Although I did throw my cat off a barn one time with a parachute, but there was like a foot of horse shit on the ground, so it was a soft landing, and it was a big parachute from like a World War II flare. Had a little harness and everything, fit the cat perfect, is what gave me the idea. I'm like, huh. So we had a bow stand on the side of the barn where we used to shoot targets and stuff. And I just went up on that bow stand and dropped the cat off with the parachute. Unfortunately, my cats were volunteers in a lot of my experiments, but I never really hurt any of them. Not seriously, anyway. Dude, my idea would work perfectly if he would just implement it. We have the technology, he has the money and the resources. I don't understand why you wouldn't do it my way instead of trying to do it the way he's doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I said, make it with a glide body like the space shuttle, glide at high altitude until you hit lower altitude, be able to open up some kind of drone nacelles and land it like a drone, stand it back up, launch it again. Be a hell of a lot easier and a lot less loss. Seems like the common sense thing to do, really. I watched my little brother one time on our back deck. We had a really high back deck that had a tree growing through the center of it. Had a nice little, bench set up around the tree. It was nice. And my younger brother had nailed two by fours together with a million nails that was crooked and jagged in a million ways. And he's about 4 or 5. And he was sitting on this thing. And I walked up the steps and I was going into the house. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I built this airplane. I'm going to fly now. And then he went off the edge of the porch. All I looked down and saw was a crumpled up kid with a bunch of nails and boards and shit laying there squalling. I'm like, you are something wrong with you. Although he did become a part of a lot of my experiments as well. My mom come home one day and I had his cozy coupe car tied to my dirt bike going down the road about 80 with it, and the little wheels were shredding off the son of a bitch. He was having a ball. Mom was not amused, however. But yeah, I'm talking about making a unibody construction vehicle that just has the drone nacelles built into it, but protected for higher atmosphere and reentry. It wouldn't be a difficult thing to do. Think about the supercarrier on like the Marvel Avengers movies or some shit, more or less. Except small scale on a rocket. Hey, what's up, John Brooks? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it, man. You're talking about one of the foil gliders with the electromagnetic current or a maglev kind of thing? Because that's what interests me is maglev technology. Magnetic compression by running high voltage through aluminum, making a magnetic field. If you could find a way to flip that magnetic field to repulse nature's force of gravity, you would have an unlimited fuel source. Gravity itself has a magnetic pull, and so does most objects. If you could find something to repulse against that magnetic pull, like a magnet does from pole to pole, you could use that to travel through space. And you would constantly gain momentum as you slingshot through the universe, as long as you had enough mass to be able to get before you hit interstellar space to where you wouldn't pick up speed for long periods of time. Oh, the entire universe runs off of magnetic fields, especially the planets, man. That's what I'm saying. Each time you would get close to a large planet, especially something like Jupiter and Saturn, with strong magnetic fields, if you could repulse that field with your own magnetic field, it would shoot you at hypervelocities as long as you had enough mass to visit before you left the solar system, because your speed's never going to decrease. Whatever you gain, you'll keep until you slow down. Yeah, can you believe they had the maglev technology on roller coasters for the last 20 years, but they're just now starting to put it on aircraft carriers? I mean, that seems completely ass backwards to me. Usually it's the other way around. Technology filters down to the private sector, and that it went the opposite direction. But that's cool because it's a much better, much more efficient use of space other than a giant steam catapult. Mm, I could generate some kind of a long term nuclear reactor if I had the materials to build something like that could stay in a magnetic field like that for a long time. Hey, Camaro, bro, what's happening, bro? Is it the 73 that has a split bumper? That's the one I like. That's a pretty sweet Camaro. Yeah, well, when NASA tried those technologies and stuff like that, that was a long time ago. I'm not talking about using fusion. I'm talking about using plain nuclear reactors like we understand now. Hell, look at a submarine. It doesn't have to refuel for 50 to 75 years. I'm sure we could make a space vessel and improve on that if we needed to. Hey, what's going on, Randy Matthews? Oh, man, sorry about your dog. It sucks. That's why you would have to have an adaptive field, which wouldn't be hard to do because you can adjust a magnetic field a lot more than you can a permanent structure. Don't know. Wouldn't be able to carry out the experiments without the necessary resources, but I believe I could do it if you gave me 20 years and a lot of money. This is true, but without hypothesis, we get nowhere. Oh man, that sucks. What, you got some kind of storm going on there, Manic Power? I don't know if the next generation of technology is upon us or not. I don't think this generation can pull their head out of their cell phones long enough to build anything. Indeed. Indeed, it could. And a keen mind, and the keen mind of others, and being able to manage those others. Nah, that sucks. The weather was actually nice here today. Damn, we had something like that a couple weeks ago because it was so cold and then it warmed up and the winds picked up to like 60-mile-an-hour gust. It blew the aluminum awnings off the side of my house. Power went out for the rest of the day. That's why you'd have to have a 360 array. I don't know. I think this is just good at spending a lot of money with little results. That and it's just got so crustified in its culture, it needs to update. I do believe it's kind of a non-issue these days. I don't have any faith in them. Once upon a time, they were the shit, but now they're just a shell of their former self, more or less. Space camp, maybe, at a museum. Not a whole lot of science going on there anymore. Indeed, and they still are. And hopefully one day we'll achieve that. Or we already have, and we just haven't been told. See, the part about human history that I never really quite understood is how in less than 100 years we went from horse and buggy and shits and, literally throwing our shit out into the streets to being on the surface of the moon. That's a hell of a jump that don't really correspond with the rest of mankind's history, does it? No, I'm not a conspiracy person either, but NASA's not what it used to be. Not after it's been stripped down by the government. It's not funded like it once upon a time. Yeah, I know they've stripped the program down to almost nothing. I'm not talking shit about the people at NASA. I'm just saying the government stripped them down to where they don't have the ability to do anything anymore. Once they quit going to space, their science, they have to depend on other countries. That sucks. Shit. All right, now I think the left is wacky and the right sure is wacky, so I'm gonna try to stay in the middle somewhere. Yeah, I know. And to a degree, it should have, because there was no reason that some of those NASA projects should have cost what they did. Just like our military spending, we might spend more, 10 times more than any other country, but what are we really getting? I think it's just the price of our stuff has gotten out of control because that's where our military industrial complex makes their money. Also cuts off that cash flow, though, too, is the problem. I always thought it'd be cool if they could build like a giant maglev, like an elevator that would go up and just get you to super high velocity magnetically and then shoot you out or into orbit. Be a lot cheaper way to get into space if people could withstand the force, which I don't think they can right now. It'd still be a good way to send payloads and shit if you could perfect it, because it seems the speed is only limited by the amount of electricity that you throw to it, more or less, and the length of the track. It was nice here today. It was really nice. Yeah, I've seen documentaries and stuff on it. And I'm a roller coaster enthusiast, so I think about that kind of stuff. But just making ways to access space cheaper, And once we achieve that, then we'll be able to make a lot more headway there. Right now, it's just so inaccessible because of the cost. I forget what the money was for each pound launched into space, but it's crazy. You think shipping is hard on fireworks? And it is. God dang, it is. But it's nice to be able to get the stuff right to your house, man. But I do miss on going on road trips like you did, Georgia. That man, I always used to do that shit all the time. I don't know, man. The way things are shaping up in the world, I've read dime store novels that went a lot like this, and they didn't end well. I see a lot of shit taking place that just sets off my alarms. And that's no conspiracy shit. I'm just talking about real stuff that I see going on around the world, how militaries are going through a sudden buildup and the climate change and shit's starting to be undeniable. And I think we're going to head towards a really unpredictable, volatile future for sure. Yeah, Nikola Tesla then gave up his funds and Westinghouse and stuff to keep the company from going bankrupt because his invention was more important to him than the cash. But he was still quite well taken care of by the government and Westinghouse until he died. They say he died penniless, but you know who was paying for the apartment he lived in or the hotel room and the room service that brought him his strange meals every day. If he was penniless, he would have been living on the street. Yeah, Nikola Tesla, he's one of my heroes for sure. A very unappreciated figure in science and history, but just now starting to get the recognition from people that he should have gotten a long time ago. Well, see, Tesla was in business with Westinghouse to build the Niagara Falls generator to beat Edison, and the company's success was more important, so he gave up his shares to keep the company in business because the project cost a lot more than they anticipated. That's what happened. I don't know, but I've never seen things so uncertain in my life, and I study history, and we live in a very volatile time. I think people should, always be prepared just for natural disasters these days, but you should have something put back just in case, because stuff breaks down a lot faster than you might think it does. I saw what happened here when we had a wild derecho storm, which is like a high one-way direction wind or some kind of shit, and it knocked out the power for about 3 weeks, and things were getting quite sporting around here. No bank ATMs, no gas stations, no nothing. I was living in a double wide trailer in the middle of a field in direct sunlight with no friggin' AC. That 4th of July, nobody took pictures for sure. Yeah. Whoop whoop. Yo, man, I'm gonna have to fix my camera around here where I can show these sweet banners I got after I get this room straightened up. Right now, it's a mess. Trying to get my power order in here. The house the other day about killed me. Front of my house has got stairs, and some of them shell kits weigh a friggin' ton. I like to get the stuff off the street quick before people see what I got. Oh, I believe the right is very fucking wacky. And a lot of them are so old, they're out of touch with the real world. We need an update. And a lot of people on the left are so hippie crazy, they're out of touch with the real world. You got to be somewhere in the middle. You can't lean one way or the other. You'll just keep going in circles the rest of your life, right? I don't care what they do with him. I just want him to serve his term and get the hell out of there. Be a footnote in history. It'll probably be 20 years later till we get the full effect of all the bullshit that man's done. He's a crook. I mean, yeah, I know all politicians are, but this one is on a scale that I just cannot get behind. I'm sorry. And he's a dumbass. I can't support a dumbass. Oh, I don't care, man. That's a footnote in history. Whatever good or whatever bad Obama done is done. What we need to talk about is where we're at now and what we need to do. And this shit now is just out of control. We need to have some respect put back into the presidency, but I don't like talking about politics, man, because it just gets everybody inflated. I wouldn't respect the man if I met him on the street. I sure as hell don't respect him as president. He ain't got nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, or anything like that. I just think the man's a slime ball. And I think he's a dumbass. Later. Manic Pyro. And that's a good thing. Oh, shit. That's a good thing, man. But everybody's not that lucky. So you can't rob Peter to pay Paul, as they say. Some people are coming out good, but some people aren't. I just think he's really, really dirty. I don't think Obama sold us out, but I don't think he done much. Right now, Trump's wanting to take what, $18 billion in emergency money to build a stupid wall and taking that from military projects. It's not really military support. That's one of the reasons why Japan said that they would never try to invade. They said if they tried to invade the United States, there'd be a barrel behind every blade of grass because they know how people was armed even back then. See, that's something that annoys me though. People talk about open borders. Nobody wants open borders. Nobody's talking that. There's a lot simpler ways to do things instead of building a stupid wall. I mean, they got satellite technology now where I can see my own backyard. You mean to tell me they can't spot the migrants and send the teams to where they need to be to pick them up and stop them? It'd be a lot more effective than a wall. A hell of a lot cheaper, too. I already have the technology in place. What about drone coverage? It'd be a hell of a lot cheaper than a friggin' wall. A lot more effective, too, especially with thermal sensors. A wall can be bypassed. They've showed that for years. It's just a stupid project he wants to put his name to. It's an ego thing. Now you do what you gotta do, bro. Each their own. It's just not for me. See, that's why I don't drink. Fuck yeah, it's dumb, man. What, you think just because I got a name like Hillbilly, I'm a stupid redneck? No, man. I call myself Hillbilly because I knew people would call me that because of the way I talk, more or less. So I just beat them to it. There's a hell of a lot better ways to control the border. That's the whole point. It's just a stupid exercise in vanity, more or less. A Bama. What the hell's a Bama, man? Oh, no doubt, man. But I've never seen anybody preach they want open borders, not except for the hippies and shit. There's just better ways to control it, more effective ways than a wall, a lot cheaper ways than a wall. He's just got a vanity project because he wants something like a friggin' pharaoh that he can put his name on. Ah, indeed. I grew up here in the mountains of West Virginia, man, all my life. But I have been out and seen parts of the world. Wanted to get away from home all my life, and then I got older and realized there wasn't nowhere I'd rather be. You know how that works. Although living in this country, in the country, has its own set of challenges, but it makes you more of an independent person. I don't think so, man. You probably go to most of the right Republican households and they've got a Spanish housekeeper or nanny or two. Hell, the Democrats, the rich ones do too. I think that's more a money thing than it is a left or right thing. But no, man, I've watched them dudes go out there in California, daylight, come out of the big white school buses, and they got them dressed in these white outfits, right? Go out there harvesting that shit like an army. They're good at what they do too. If it wasn't for them, we'd be paying sky high prices for shit. So I don't know. I'm not saying they should let them in. They should stop them and they should play legally. But I just think there's better ways of doing it. I know there's better ways of doing it. Can't tell me, man. They can't spot that shit from space, and if they can't, they can put it on a drone. Yeah, I used to drive a truck. I would take furniture from South Carolina out to California. Then I'd bring back a load of produce and stuff on a return trip. So I've seen quite a few of them out there in the fields working. All right, now, man, let's keep it good, friendly and all. I was down there in El Paso, Texas. That was crazy for me, man. I was stuck there for about 2 or 3 days. I ate a lot of tacos. It was damn good, man. Went to a lot of good strip clubs too. Hell, it's not like you got anything else to do for 3 days when you're stuck somewhere like that. Hey, what's up, wonderful life? I get used to going to strip clubs and stuff when I was in Memphis, Tennessee. It's kind of, I don't know if it's just the area that I was in or what, but the white guys hung out there, and other clubs were, you didn't want to go in there unless you were black, because I did. Everybody looked at me. I was like, oh shit, I'm not welcome here. I gotta go. I didn't think nothing of it, man. I sat down and ordered me a beer, and everybody eyeballing the fuck out of me. I'm like, okay, never mind, man. I'm out of here. We don't pay attention to that shit much around here. I seen some crazy stuff when I was in Memphis, man. That place was dangerous. Shit, man. I'm in West Virginia, and I was born stocked up. Damn, man. Only got 3 people liking the whole stream. That sucks. Been in here for an hour. See, excuse me. That's what happens when you talk politics. Yep, I've got to clean. I boxed up most of my drone stuff, and I'm getting ready to put my power stuff out because I got boxes every freaking where right now. With that's one thing about power that I don't like is the amount of trash. it does generate a shit ton of waste, man. Yeah, I don't want to put the camera on me. I didn't even brush my hair. I bought a case of rockets I thought were going to be good, man. They're called Freight Trade rockets, silver wrap. No name brand on them, but they're just decent color rockets. They're nothing special like they look like. I was kind of disappointed. And then I bought some rockets called painkillers that have the little blue ball, on the top, but they weren't boomers either. They're color too, so I'm like, shit. So I got a lot of color rockets for the fourth. And I can't really even use rockets in my show that much because I'm afraid they'll come down on the spectators. And I can't angle them towards the forest, so I don't know. I think a lot of those people need to retire. There's a lot of people that we have in our government that's just too old to be there on both sides of the aisle. Some of them are completely out of touch with reality and just way too old to be there. I think they should put term limits on that shit. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody around here say that. But don't talk about politics, damn it. Talk about fucking power or something, damn. Yeah, see, Matthews knows. He's like, damn, man, come on. Y'all hyped up wanting to argue with people and shit. uh, After coming off that epic pyro adventure, yours, man, you need to roll you up one, twist it, relax a little. There we go. But yeah, man, I'm trying to make room for shit so I can get these cases put out. I got to get rid of the boxes. I can't hardly walk through my house. I got like a little tunnel through my middle room, like in my house, right? It's just like boxes. I didn't get a big order as I got last year, but I did get a pretty decent order. It's respectable. I had a lot, well, not a lot, but about 25, 30, 500 gram cakes left from last year. Them pro cakes and wicked pyros are pretty damn good. Well, right now I don't have everything in my room, but I can scan over what I do have. But keep in mind I don't have nothing put together right now. It's kind of in a state of transition. Still growing stuff up there. I got on the back wall that all the drones are set under there is my 500s of different types I got left. This is my boomers that are, full boxes, my ground stuff. I just got these Fathead brand 90 shot payday cakes and the Raccoon brand million missiles 300 shot case of those. So there's a dozen of them. And then in front of me on the other side of the table, I can't swivel that round. I've got a stack of 500 gram cakes about as tall as I am. And then I have my wholesale order in another room. I went with flamingo bombs this year and golden dragon Nikishimi shells or whatever. They're really nice. And then I got a case of the fake dragon ball shells, but they're actually bigger cylinders than most, so they're pretty decent. Get into it again, Georgia Pyro. Stay on course with the Pyro, bro. Yeah, damn, man. No doubt. I have one 17-year-old daughter. Damn. That's tricky as hell. No, I only had one child because I wanted to give her the best I could. But everybody wants different things, man. But you should keep it, it's in your budget or try to anyway. But you know how people are. But damn, dude, I want to go to Pyro Dudes, but it's like a 5.5 hour drive from where I'm at. Even though it's, in West Virginia, it's like way up north from me. I'm closer to the Virginia line near Richmond. I mean, Roanoke is what I meant. Roanoke, yeah, not Richmond. Actually, rolled the dice and went with a new company this year I'd never went with called Wayne's World Firework. And it was a pretty good experience. I got all my product. There wasn't nothing missing. None of my cases was damaged. Shipping was a little bit more expensive than what it was supposed to be. I'm trying not to. I was just talking about the pyro, man. I did get one cake. It's like outer space attack or something. It looks pretty interesting. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, then. Alexandria makes me think of The Walking Dead, dude. Yeah, Georgia Pyro, man. Peace, brother. Peace. Dude, I got a lot of raccoon brand, a lot of Lido, a lot of fathead, a lot of evil monkey. Uh, just a lot of new stuff, man. To me, anyway. I got the Flamingo Bomb 5-inch paint cans, and I got the golden dragon shells that are 5-inch. They're pretty sweet. Got a case of those. I don't know, about 20 other things. I got a lot of 200-gram cakes and stuff this year because I had pretty good stash of 500s left. Oh, I'm going to build a firework wall here in a minute, when I get all this shit put away because I got to get the boxes out of my way, really. I'm liking what I see so far from the Raccoon brand. I really do. Their shells, their fireworks, all looks good. I think they're coming out with a little heavier loaded stuff to get a little bit of recognition and attention. That's what the golden dragon shells I got is, man. The Nishiki or whatever. You were looking at a box that's the same shit as what I had at one of the fireworks stores, some golden ones, but it was under a different name there. But it's the same box. Hold on a minute, I'll go get a box up and show you. Bada Bow Fireworks in Pennsylvania carries Raccoon now. Wayne's World Fireworks in Indiana carries Raccoon brand. There's a few. Why'd they pull it? Seems like quality shit. Yeah, their neon shells are pretty sweet. Them, I don't think it's Raccoon brand, the shells that I got, them Nikashari, I can't pronounce the shit, but they almost touched the ground. And I noticed that the shells, there's a definite spectrum of the power level with them too. The green ones in every bunch is like super powerful. Yeah, because everything I've seen so far has been great, man. Kishiki, okay. Nishiki, gotcha. Nishiki, I got it. There we go. Damn, man, I'll be right back. Yeah, I got a case of these bad boys. They're pretty sweet. Fireworks company. They're really nice gold shells, man. But I was seen one of your videos. You were looking at the same box at one of the stores you were at, but it was under a different name. Crap, I forgot the pink flamingo shells. I was gonna bring those in there too. I got to move a lot of shit around before I bring anything else in here. I got to make room for it. Golden shells. Oh yeah. There was a 190 shot zipper cake that Raccoon had called shit. What was it? Oh, I can't remember. It was really good. Oh God, fireworks are named so similar. I can't remember. I'd have to check my catalog here. This is just one of many. Just pick out what I want on the list, call them up, boom. You're done with me, all right? Or do you mean you're done talking your craziness? I don't know it. But yeah, that's just one of the catalogs that I printed up of stuff, man. It was crazy. Yeah, man. It's more of a chill stream, brother. Oh God. Don't get this started again. Still got some of them jawbreaker shells from last summer. Those are pretty good. I like them. Pyro channel, man, not politic channel though. Yeah, they are, man. I was impressed with them, especially since they're good price and stuff. Bada Boom has them. I know that. I don't know about what kind of area you in, Randy. I might be able to recommend you somewhere good. Hell, dude, order from Bada Boom. They got all kinds of good stuff. Get the gold list, man. Depends on what you spend. You get some pretty decent prices then. At 18% fireworks tax kind of sucks balls, though. If you could order from Ohio, maybe you could bypass some of that. But bada boom, I do like their stuff. Yeah, but just order it like I do, man. To have it shipped to your house, it shouldn't be too bad. Georgia Power, you're the one saying that they don't allow you to do wholesale in Georgia, do they? Oh, I've been all over. Like I said, man, I used to drive a truck. I wonder if they get a lot of Canadian business because I know Canada's fireworks sucks if you can find any at all. I think I watched a video one time where there was a couple of provinces in Canada where you could buy fireworks, but other than that, they're completely illegal. Guy had a pack of firecracklers I was watching on here, man. It looked like a firecracker, but it's got holes drilled in it. Canadian firecracker. It really sucked too. It's like a really anemic crackle ball. I felt bad for the dude. Yeah, they do, man. West Virginia, the fireworks have been legal here now for 4 or 5 years. I think this is the fifth year, and it's already on the news now, wanting to set stricter firework laws here in West Virginia because people are complaining about the disturbances and shit. I don't never let any of my fireworks off near my house. I drive like 30 minutes into the country and then I let my fireworks off so I don't bother anybody. Or I hope I don't anyway. Dude, I wanted to put a tent up and sell because I wanted to give people a decent, I can still make a profit and give people a decent price because I know people around here, not a lot of rich people. But the red tape and the amount of taxes and all that other bullshit that you have to do, you have to have at least 30 or 40 grand to get started. I have a firework tent now, fireproof tent, very expensive. But they keep talking about changing fireworks laws here in West Virginia and all this other shit and making it limited seasonal and everything to where you can only do it on certain times a year. That sucks. Yeah, man, I live in town. A lot of dogs, a lot of pets, a lot of stuff like that. And I try to stay low key. That's why I go out in the middle of nowhere and I light my stuff off because I have some land out in the country where I film my firework demos and stuff. I mean, to each their own and stuff. I just like to keep mine low key. Somebody will call the cops on you to tell them they heard a gunshot, and the cops go and check it out. There's nothing they can do because they're legal, but I still don't like to talk to the cops. Some snappy nappo. All right, man. Take it easy, dude. Try to relax a little bit. Make sure you stay home, man. Get some rest, Georgia Peru. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they did, and they taxed the hell out of them too by 18%. Just like here in West Virginia, they taxed the hell out of them. But There's only one fireworks store here in West Virginia within driving range for me, and it's like an hour and a half away. And one box of 24 5-inch shells will cost you $5 just like for 24. It's ridiculous. That's before tax. Majority of people I run into think that they're still illegal. Like you're doing some kind of black market deed by owning them, and I'm like, no, they're legal in the state now. Oh, there is. Ordered wholesale and stuff from out of state and everything like that. But still, that if you have a tax exempt status and all that, or form, or what the hell ever. But I don't have that kind of money to spend, man. I wanted to go into business and do it. I just don't have the financial ability to get started. That and moving crates and pyro boxes and stuff around is not really something I want to do all summer. Even though I will be anyway, right? Dude, they're good. They're really good. The 5-inch gold shells are really nice, and the green shell in each box seems to hit extra hard. They almost touch the ground. And the green shell actually does. So it's the thing with Bada Boom where I ordered from them last year. I could order from them this year without a minimum because I spent so much the year before. And then I got their gold list pricing, which is a whole lot better than what they advertise on their site. And I had my order ready, and I was going to go with Bada Boom again this year. I was, and then at the last minute, I just got a wild hair up my ass and decided to go with somebody I'd never heard of before. You want to call them and talk to them on the phone, man, if you can. Get them to, if you're going to spend a good amount, they'll work with you and give you better prices than what they've got shown on their website. So, it's me, man. I like the good pyro, but I'm also all about the best price I can get. Cool, man. Where you at, Excel? Damn, I just heard something right by the house. Check my cameras. Thanks, Georgia Pyro, man. I never did get my smoked TKs. I couldn't find anybody that had them this year. They said they were too expensive and didn't carry them. Oh, that's right. You have a story, Michigan. Sweet. What's the name of your store, if you don't mind me asking? See, I ordered from Indiana this year. I like to buy banners and stuff from each year when I order stuff. Excel Fireworks. Okay. Ah, sounds familiar. I'm sure I've checked it out, man. Cool. You carry any of the good stuff in there that you keep in the way back, wink, wink kind of stuff. Yeah, I know you can't say if you did or you didn't. That would be wise. But yeah, sweet. But man, we'll have to talk next year. See what kind of prices you can give me. I don't know what the shipping would be like from Michigan, but I guess it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I went from to Bowling Green, Indiana this year. That's pretty good distance for me to order, wholesale anyway. That's why the shipping was so high, but still, it's different stuff that I haven't seen before. I personally haven't had, the flamingo bombs and stuff. A lot of the Spathead and Raccoon brand, and I've had some Lido stuff like the 1.3 shit, but I've never had any of their 1.4 product. So that was cool. I've had their shells before, but I've never had any of their 1.4 cakes. Put it that way. Yeah, I started as a little kid going to flea markets and stuff with my parents. We bought and sold horses and livestock, and there'd be a farmer's market every Saturday morning where people would sell stuff like a giant yard sale, right? And, livestock as well. But people would always bring in bootleg bottle rockets and firecrackers. And I got really good at spotting those guys and stuff and going to getting stuff off of them when I was little. Because my family was from Spartansburg, South Carolina, originally on my dad's side. So they would bring me in bricks of fireworks and stuff like that when they come in as a little kid. I've been a lifelong pyro, more or less. I used to watch my dad get stoned with his friends and blow up my toys when he was young. Of course, I was fine with it and everything because it's cool for me. That's really something you shouldn't talk about on a live stream, though, Randy Matthews. But yeah, you have to have a special license to do that legally. But I lived in a safe and staying state for years, so you definitely get a little crafty with things for sure. That's what started my creativeness with fireworks and trying to make them better was being stuck with safe and sane crap. Yep. And I'm just now starting to appreciate fountains again because for years I wouldn't touch them because that's all we could buy. Not only fountains, but ridiculously expensive fountains. I never done any kind of stuff like that. I was a Boy Scout. I went all the way to Eagle Scout. I played with my pyro responsibly. I did, however, make things with chemical reactions and stuff like that that would blow up stuff. But that's a different story. I once bought an entire college chemistry lab when I was a kid from a flea market. Lab equipment, microscopes, chemicals, everything. I had like an entire college laboratory full of supplies. I still have some of that stuff around to this day. I swear I ordered a case of snow cone fountains, man, from Winda, and I didn't put it on my list. It must have slipped my mind or something because I didn't get them. I didn't order them, but I thought I had. Yep. Probably be ridiculous for you to ship a case or two of those, wouldn't it? I might have to buy some, man. I think Bada Boom had them for $53 a case. So that's not bad. And I think Wayne's World had them for 48. Yep. Oh, I do a lot of shopping around, man, for sure. One thing I love about wholesale is it's so convenient, but I miss on going on the whole road trip thing with my friends. And it just completely ruins retail for you once you learn how much this stuff actually costs, man. But I used to go to Phantom back in the day and would spend 2 grand and walk out there with a trunk of a Camaro full, and that's using coupons and everything else. It's ridiculous. But I love fireworks stores. But now I go in them and I just buy a little piddly shit most of the time, unless I see something really cool because I know what that shit really costs. These these are the Golden Dragon shells, man. They're by Foul brand, but I've seen them under a couple other brands. They're the Nikishi or whatever shells we were talking about earlier. And this is a by Fathead Fireworks. It's got like a ram's head on it, which is different. It's a 96 shot zipper cake. And we got a million missiles up there by Raccoon brand. And then we got some of my favorite boomers over here. But I haven't put away my new stuff yet, except for these two 96 shot cakes and these Saturn missiles. The rest of the cases are laid all over my house right now. I have to move things around before I can get room. Hey, Bubbles, how you doing? Yeah, I know, man. The only reason I went there, man, is because we always go to Cincinnati to Kings Island in the summertime for vacation, and it was along the way, and I knew where it was at, and I started buying from there for years and spent a fortune. I got this stuff from Wayne's World. Oh, you should see some of these other cakes I have. I've got this one called You've Been Sharded. It's got really weird art on it, and one called Enterprise. If you want to wait a minute, I'll go get something else if you want to see it. You guys want me to go get one of these other little cakes? Because they are really good. The Enterprise has got, or Warp Drive. Yeah, the Warp Drive has got like a horsetail effect where it spits out the side. They're really good. Hold on just a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Let me grab some of these smaller cakes. Hey, anybody still with me? Check out this cake. Isn't that weird looking? You got sharded. $200-gram cake. It says shoot flaming balls and report. Pretty sweet. Then we got warp drive. It's got a picture of the Enterprise on it. That's why I bought it. But it's got a really cool horsetail effect. I got a video of this up when it's under the 5-inch golden shells a few days ago. It's a really nice little 200-gram effect. You can talk about whatever you want in here, as long as it's nothing, offensive or crazy, or too crazy. And we have the phage. And I do. And we got Chemical Imbalance by Mean Monkey. Were you Buster? What? Shit. Got it from Wayne's World, man. And the Mean Monkey. I got all this stuff from Wayne's World. All the stuff I was showing right now. Not the special stuff, the regular stuff, more or less. I'm not really going to expose anything, really, really good or anything. This is all regular 1.4 product, but it's pretty good stuff. I like it. Let's see. No brand name. It's usually a good sign. I always go for the no names. They seem to, they can go either way, but most of the time they're pretty good. You guys still awake in here now? It's not listed as the brand name on some of the product. I didn't know it was really raccoon stuff until I got it home. Yeah. Indeed. I mean, they seem to be solid enough, man. They're good. I really like the warp drive. You got sharded. It's a pretty colorful, good little 200-gram, but it's more of a pop than a burst. The warp drive, it's got a nice boom and a cool horsetail effect. That's one of the things that gets me about fireworks bubbles is all the artwork and stuff like that. It's one of the things that's always, I think, made me interested in this stuff. It's just the crazy packaging they come up with in China. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked it. 24 in a case, and it wasn't very expensive. I don't think it's like 46 or $50 for a case of 24. So that wasn't bad. I don't remember what the price was. I might be quoting it all wrong. I'd have to look, but it wasn't expensive. I remember that. Definitely worth it. I can find a place to add them on my boards. I got that one, swimming with the fishes. I got a case of those too. I got a case of you got caught red. Help. Hold on a second. I can read off the entire list. I got it written down here somewhere. Wayne's World. Wayne's World. All right. We got a million missiles. Plastic Saturn. That's the raccoon brand. We got freight train 2-inch headed rocket. Case of those. A case of painkiller, a 1-inch headed rocket. Couple banners from Wayne's World. Golden Dragon 5-inch canister shells. Case of those. Case of Flamingo Bomb 5-inch canister shells. Case of Whistler and artillery shells. Case of Warp Drive. A case of the Phage. A case of You Got Shorted. A case of Chemical Imbalance. A case of Swimming with the Fishes. A case of Baby Rattle. Brainiac, a case of those. A case of Tectonic. A case of You Got Caught Red-Handed. And then some of the safety fuse, and then the fast fuse, and all that good stuff. And then Space Invaders, like 90s, or big zipper cake, a 1-1 cake, and a couple other little odds and ends. So that was my order. Flamingo bombs. Hold on, I'll show you. I got a box in here if I can wrestle it up here. Nah, man, the only ball shells I have is these black box dragons, but they're fakies. They're little canisters, trying to be ball shells, but they're still not bad. Can't really complain about them. I mean, they were, good Lord, I think they were only like $35 a case or something like that. Yeah, it's new to me too. That's why I went with it. That's like something different, right? Pink canister shells. Ain't that crazy? Not very manly, but hey, something different. I got the Flamingo Bomb banner. I've got that entire artwork on the wall. It's pretty cool. When I get the room cleaned up, I'll do a video on the rest of it and show my banner collection and stuff. See you later, Bam Potatoes. Okay, you have a good night, Bubbles. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Dude, apple balls. What? I've never seen those, man. I heard you talk about them before and said they were really good, but I personally haven't seen them. I was going to buy them zombie blasters by Winco. They look pretty good. I'm still going to get an order from something from Pyro Dudes because he's been really cool to me and shit. And, I'd like to place an order from him just because he's a nice dude and stuff. I'd order from him all the time if he had price match, but for me, it's all about best price. I'm like every other pyro. I'm always trying to get the most cases for my dollar. My little firework collection of stuff, I add to it, and it just kind of scratches the pyro collecting itch a little. Yep. Damn, I've been on here for an hour and 42 minutes. That's crazy. I'll have to check them out, man. Mangus. You don't see much of that around here. I saw some Mangus stuff at a Keystone firework tent that we had up here locally, around the 4th of July. But that was the only Mangus product I've really seen for sale, publicly. What's got you up so late, XL? You up doing paperwork? Yeah, I remember that. Magneto guy. Yep, that's what I thought. I was like, yep. I'm trying to collect all the cartoon stuff now, like the Smurf cakes and the Smurf balls, and all the Acme firecrackers and all that shit. That's what I'm trying to collect now. Yep, paperwork here. A lot of red tape there in Michigan. I know they're trying to put as much as they can to it around here and then add a little bit more as they go. It was just on the news already, and it's not even really spring yet, and they're already complaining about fireworks. And I try to show respect for vets and animals and stuff like that. That's why I go out into the country. But the guy was on there talking about how he was in Vietnam, and I respect that and everything. But he said the mortars and rockets were like same thing as what the VC shot at them, and I'm like, no, no, they're not. But yeah, those brown crackers are really, really nice. I like those. I'd like to get a couple of cases of those actually. Yeah, that's what he was comparing fireworks to, was the mortars and the rockets and stuff that they shot at him in Vietnam. And I'm like, damn, man, I respect your service and everything like that. And I'm sorry you got post traumatic stress, and people shouldn't be an asshole. If you tell them that, they should, cease and desist and go somewhere else out of respect. I agree with that 100%. But saying it's like the stuff the VC shot was a little going overboard. But they have to sensationalize this stuff to be on the news to start with. Those ones right below the brown crackers, they're really nice too. And I really like the Crazy Kings. And I say Crazy Kings because they've been out forever. Matter of fact, everything on this list is pretty well known, in this stack, but I still try to hide the name somewhat. European stuff don't really matter, I guess. Yeah, I've got a decent collection. I didn't have any videos. I mean, not videos, but didn't have any good firecrackers this time last year. So I amassed a little bit of a collection. I just got to keep them out of my buddy's hand, Dave. That way he'll still have hands. He gets too stoned to let these kind of firecrackers off. Dave's not here, man. But that's my only buddy that goes in with me and tries to help a little bit by, with the fireworks and stuff, which is cool. The rest of them just kind of, and my younger brother, he helps with the labor on setting and cutting the field and getting things ready for the fourth and stuff. So he helps in his own way. We're going to have everything pre-built and ready and loaded this year, already on the boards. That way, all we have to do is set it off. Yeah, my buddy Dave, he can't really be trusted with those kind of firecrackers. I give him the crackers and stuff like that. Oh, dude, I have a big cookout and a family reunion and everything. That's what my pyro is for. Is mostly my Fourth of July. I stash all this stuff for my Fourth of July show. When the wholesale prices are good and everything during inventory time and tax time and all that. It's the best prices of the year for wholesale. Save that shit all winter for the fourth, and yeah, I get to play with it in the meantime, which is good. Jumping jacks. No, I don't have any jumping jacks, man. Not even the little. Well, there might be some of the little, regular type laying around. I know them. Oh God, I think it was the Shogun ground salute, ground flower. That is just sad. It's not even a decent crackle. No problem, man. Thinking about going in there and making me one of them barbecue rib sandwiches myself. They're not good for you, but they're pretty damn good. I had tacos tonight, though, so I better watch. I already had to take my antacid and shit. Sucks getting older. Guess you can't complain about it too much, though, because some people don't get the opportunity. Yeah, I look forward to getting everything set up, but after trying to wrestle this stuff and bring it in, I've been laid up for a few days. JL is the louder stuff. Well, let me check real quick here. I can tell you real quick. I got a bunch of JJs, a bunch of K1s, bunch of JJ, a lot of MK, a lot of WWF, FF, MMK, LUS, MK, FS3, FS3. No, I don't think I had any of those. JL, cool. Hey, what's up, Alvin? How you doing? That's the exact same thing that you said last time. Is Alvin a bot by chance? Oh, do you believe it may be? Are you a real person there, Alvin? Bit of a cold. Actually, it's vape pen that I'm trying to hit, and it's just killing me. I'm trying with the whole quit smoking things. Oh, dude, I'd have to get my glasses to be able to read that for real. A lot of WWF. The pay dirt's WWF, so I could see that one from here. Oh, the certification. You're talking about like the holographic sticker on the side? Yeah, I definitely have to find my glasses to read that one. Let's check it out real quick. I don't know if I check it out, will it stream that video if I click it? I don't want to do that because then I get a copyright strike for somebody else's stuff being on my channel. Yeah, that's what it does to me, man, but I got to get off the cigarettes. I'm gonna do a cool video sometime this weekend if it quits raining on my truck, man. I got a new set of blacked out headlights and tail lights for it. Should look pretty good. I'm gonna do like a before and after video on it. That's if it stops raining this weekend. It's supposed to rain. I got the one with the clear lens because I didn't want to get the smoked one because I get pulled over for it, even though it's legal. I got the one with the clear front, but it's got like a black background instead of being reflective. It should look good with the red paint on my truck. Headlights it has on it now is a little bit cloudy, so I thought it'd be a cool little upgrade. Something I can do really easy, you know. Comes with some pretty heavy duty headlights too. Hey, what's up, my nature? How you doing? We were just talking about fireworks. You're in the Philippines? Was that it? My nature, I can't remember. Yep. Dude, I don't get the reference for real. Okay. Yeah, but what about stuff like the gray shells, the ZRs, and stuff like that? How's that stuff get through? It through the back channels, I guess. Yes, yes, yes. I have one UFO left, man, only one, and I'm gonna save it for the fourth. I'd love to get a case of those, man. I want a case of Dolas, and I'd like to get a case of smoked TKs. And shit, I still have a lot of stuff. I need to get some fountains. I need to do a second order, man. Because I like to throw some bone cans in there with my racks and shit, and I'm low on those too. So I'm gonna have to try to scash up some of those. Yeah, dollars are hard to find or they're really expensive. One, that's been my experience. I see my buddy out west. He come across it pretty easy. He said a couple years back. I've been wanting something to fill that hour between 8 and 9, right before dark. It's usually when we start playing with Roman candles and stuff like that. But it'd be cool to have a case of smoked TKs to start off the show and stuff and get people's attention. And then, it would fade into dark because once it gets 9, it gets dark pretty quick in the mountains most of the time. In the summer anyway. Dude, I have just a couple of packs of regular, run of the mill salute candles, not really salute, just regular 1-4 or with salute kind of crap. And then I have a couple special Roman candles, but other than that, I don't have a lot of. I didn't get any. I did get 2 cases of rockets though, but I need to get some boomer rockets because the ones I got they look like boomer rockets, but they're not. Freight train rockets look promising with no brand name on them and the big 2-inch silver balls, but they're just decent rockets, but they're not boomer rockets. But the price, you couldn't really beat a case for $52 for 2-inch shells on a rocket. Yeah, they probably do. But that's okay because it's my land and the field will just grow up and cover it up and reabsorb most of that mess back into the ground pretty quickly. Yep, that's what I need. Said I got a few holes. I need to place another smaller order. Get 4 or 5 cases of stuff, but shit, it's got to be worth your shipping to make an order like that. So I don't know. I'll be taking some road trips soon, but I won't be going anywhere good. I don't think in Ohio. There's some places in South Carolina, but nowhere near Charlotte where I'll be. Virginia, I think they don't have anything good. Yeah. There's actually not a lot of kids at my show. It's all mostly, just adults and stuff. Most of them get babysitters and stuff like that so they can come and relax and have a good time for the day. Hell, it's about one of the only times a year I get to hang out with my buddy Dave that we're not busy doing something else. Yeah, I always need some good cakes. Have Wicked Pyro Pro Series, 3 through 6, and they're all pretty good 500 grams. I picked up some pretty good 500 grams from Wayne's World, but I could use a few special items for sure. Pyro's an addiction, man. That's probably how you started out. Now you got a store, so you see where it leads you to. You probably dreamed about having a building full of pyro one time. It's like me, man. I always wanted to fill a U-Haul full of fireworks. I was satisfied. That was my dream, and I done it. It was cool. But I realized I don't need that much. I don't have room for that much. So it was a cool but not repeatable thing. So I only went with 1 pallet this year. After I bought my truck, it's pretty much all I could afford. Dude, I had a kid walking down the street here, and somehow he knows I have fireworks in here, even though I have my windows blocked off and stuff. But he's like, "Are you the one throwing the firecrackers and stuff and scaring my dog?" And I'm like, "No, man, that's not me." I'm like, seriously, I'm getting interrogated by a kid. Dude, I have a tent. I have the fireworks tent. I just don't have the license or the tax permit or the inventory. Yeah, Added with what I had left from last year, which is about half a pallet. It'd be more than enough for 4th of July with some left over for a good New Year's show and probably some for the next year. A lot of playing in between. Yeah, it had to be a special fireproof rating and everything. I got the steel frame tent, and it's decent size. It's like a 20 by 30 or something. Not a big tent, but I got a nice place here by the 2-lane road right beside the dam and the river and stuff where everybody goes in the summertime. Hell of a location. It's just the startup money is hard to do. Even with those things, to get enough inventory to get started and pay all the taxes and all that other crap, it's a major investment. I've thought about it quite a few times. I'd like to be able to sell people good fireworks at a good price without ripping them off. Insurance for me was going to be about $230 a month, and that was for a $500,000 coverage, and that's for the legal limit that you have to have here. So it wasn't too bad at $230 a month. Oh, I have looked into it, man, extensively. I have quite a bit of stuff, that I got together because that's what I was going to do. And the camera won't pan up that high. It's going to show you my neon open sign. Wow, 10 million. I think a summer tent permit here is like $500, and then you have to have the insurance and everything like that. We do have that 18% tax, which sucks. Really? Good Lord, what do you guys have? So I thought 18% was pretty high. I think Illinois, where I ordered from, had 14%. I don't have the tax exempt there. It's not bad. I got a hefty 18% on it here, and the prices are already ridiculous. Like I said, they're selling 5-inch super shells, American super shells, for $135 a box all day long. All day long. $100 for an Excalibur kit, just 24 shells. And people are tearing it up. I've got a place right beside the main highway right by the main drag to the lake and the river, which would be, great commercial location for setting up something like that. Yeah, that would be a cool thing to do. I've always wanted to. I think it would be good, like I said, be able to sell people good stuff that I know. I wouldn't sell anything that was crap. I memorized the West Virginia fireworks code and law, all 56 pages of it verbatim when I was looking into it. Excellent. How big is your staff, man? Do you find it hard to get good people to work for you? Or is it more of a family business? Oh, excellent, man. That's the best way to do it. That was kind of the feeling I got when I ordered from Wayne's World Fireworks. It was more of a small operation kind of feel to it, you know. I'd rather give the little guy more money than the major corporate chains. I know Phantom and TNT will never get another dime. I don't care if they were the last fireworks on the planet. Yeah, I felt bad though because I kind of got snappy with the lady on the phone because we had a miscommunication. And what she typed, I don't know if it's autocorrect or what, but it come out saying I could only buy one case of each product. And I'm like, what kind of bullshit rule is that? You know, what if I want two or three cases of a product? I'm like, never mind, I'll just order somewhere else. And she corrected that really quick, but it's not what she meant to say. You know, I wish I hadn't have been so hasty with my, being a little bit of a dick, but I stressed myself out with the firework ordering too much. You know, I always try to analyze it too much. It no longer becomes fun when you're looking into it that deeply. You know how when you start looking into spreadsheets and shit like you're probably looking at right now, some of the fun does drain out of it for sure. Phantom and TT's just horrible business practices, along with their horrible fireworks and their expensive prices. I mean, I'll admit there's some Phantom fireworks I still like, but I'm not going to pay the ridiculous prices for them. I can find the same fireworks wrapped with a different name somewhere else. We didn't even have a tent this year, dude. The only thing that showed up in my entire town was a little TNT firework wooden stand. I got a video of it on my page. It's just a little tiny thing. I live in a vacation town, man, right in the convergence of three rivers, right next to a big lake, fishing and boating and all that stuff, and camping and all that good shit. I could sell the hell out of fireworks. Oh shit. Speaking of fireworks, there was just now a big boom at 3:01 a.m. I hope they don't blame that shit on me. Hold on, I gotta check that out. Where was that? Whoever's doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning is pretty stupid. There's a police station at the end of my block here. Yeah, don't say shit like that, man. But yeah, boom at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's why the shit's getting put on the news. I haven't heard that before. I hope that was a firework. Some of you guys said you heard that? Yeah, it's pretty damn loud, whatever it was, man. It wasn't me. I got witnesses. That'd be a kid blaming me for that shit again. I think that kid pissed somebody off because I did see a car drive by his house and toss out a strip of firecrackers. Like try to hit, throw them into his yard and shit. But it ain't me doing it. Hell, why would I target a kid and his dog? I mean, good grief. Hey, firework demos, what are you doing, man? Welcome back. 10 million, huh? Oh, wow. Yeah, well, ever since I did bring my pyro into the house, my back and stuff hasn't allowed me to get a lot of sleep. I don't know. He must have ticked somebody off. But what I want to know is how did the kid know that I had fireworks? 'Cause I don't let anything off around here. Nothing. I try to keep it low key that I have a room full of fireworks, even though it's perfectly legal to do so. Yeah, probably. Shit, man. They would try to. I know how cops are. They'd be wanting some of this stuff for themselves. They like fireworks and things that go boom. Might. I don't know. I don't have nothing against the kid. Never said nothing bad to him. I don't know why he thinks I would do that. But there's always a bad group of people that's going to try to ruin stuff for everybody. It's like whoever lit that at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's a time for everything. 3 o'clock in the morning is not it. I'm surprised I didn't set off every dog in the neighborhood, but I didn't hear a single one bark. My back's been killing me, man. Where I brought in this firework order like last Friday. That's why I can't sleep. I had a few guys coming to help. The truck didn't give me an ETA all day long. It just the ETA was from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Like waiting on a friggin' cable guy or something. So I had to sit around with two or three dudes, waiting all day. That wasn't cool. That was one bad thing about the experience I didn't enjoy. And I paid for a lift gate and they sent a regular truck. That kind of sucked. I haven't been to one of those in years. Been to quite a few though. I even dated a few strippers. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's fun if if you're young enough, I guess. Dude, they did. They put me off to the very end of the frigging deck. The guy even called me he did call me at 3 o'clock after waiting for the truck all day. And he's like, man, I'm gonna put you off till 5 o'clock until I get the rest of my orders done today. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not like I haven't had guys sitting here all day waiting on you. He got here within about 30 minutes after that. Hell, for the amount of money I was paying for next door delivery or next day delivery, it should have been here and should have got a goddamn a friggin' time. Hey, Open Does, how you doing? It cost me almost $400 to have a pallet ship, which I thought was ridiculously high. Got to get some Mountain Dew. Lido makes a lot of professional product, a lot of 1-3 shells, a lot of stuff like that. And they make a lot of 1-4 too. I just haven't had any of it. This one looks pretty interesting. The Phage, I got it because it sounded like the Phage off of Star Trek. Go with the warp drive kicks I got. I was kind of going for a theme there. These Saturn missiles are pretty interesting. A million missiles. By the raccoon brain. No, I like Lido myself. Hmm. 300 shots. No effect that I see. So I don't know if these have a pop or a crackle or a color or what. No idea. This says 300 shots. We'll have to find out. We usually set off an entire case at once and just let them go nuts. But I think I'm going to add these to other cake boards and stuff this year instead of setting them off in complete mass. Whistle to pop. Oh, that's cool. That's good. That's what I like. We usually do those by the case, but like I'm gonna add them to other cakes and stuff like I did for my birthday show. I added a bunch of those, so a bunch of 200-gram cakes, and was making like 3,000-gram cakes and stuff. It's pretty wild. Quick way to go through a lot of powder though. But dude, even with the prices that I'm paying, it's like the price that I used to pay for one. I'm getting an entire case, so that's good all day, you know. Hell, I remember those 300 shot Saturn missiles were 15 bones a pop. Yeah, I have a pretty interesting little firing system. I don't have a Cobra yet. Probably never will, since I only do one show a year for the family. This is my firing system. You can operate 99 cues from this panel. So that's pretty cool. It's got killer range too. Pulled a little antenna. Hold on, let me get back in the film. It's got two little antenna here. Just simple little cube, you know. Pyrex. And it uses these modules, which is cool because it's got the digital readout and you can change it and address it to whatever you want instead of it being set from the factory like a lot of them cheaper little fire systems and stuff are. So this is a nice upgrade over that. We're still outspending a bunch, you know, and the more of these you buy at a time, the cheaper they are. I've got like 5 or 6. I accidentally blew up one of my modules when I blew up that Eric Cartman doll. I set it too close. The only thing I had was a little cheap short wired igniter. I didn't feel like going and getting any scab wire, and the charge was too large, and I lost the module that day, which sucks. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to turn it on, man. I don't have anything in it. Of course, if somebody around here is letting off fireworks, that'd be crazy if I set their shit off. That would have been funny as hell if I'd have turned that on and all of a sudden heard bah, bah, bah. Somebody would have got a shock, eh? I'll tell you what, though, with those cheap firing systems, it's always good to make sure you check that shit before you try to use it, because one of my modules, the Q number 18, as soon as you touch it with an e-match, it'll pop. As soon as you touch that shit. Luckily, I learned on the 4th of July with an entire rack of ZR gray shells. Set the entire rack off as soon as I plugged it up, but the module off. I hadn't even turned it on yet. As soon as I touched Q18, boom. Like, son of a bitch. I ended up setting off that entire salute rack at like 6 o'clock during the day. Got people's attention, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. I told my brother, I said, man, I just got this feeling. I said, watch out, man, be careful. I said, I always get an easy feeling when I connect these modules. And he's like, all right. As soon as I touched that cue with it, man, it set it off. Yo. It wasn't the E-match problem. It was just a defect with that module. It's getting power to Q18 at all times. Now, the rest of the Qs on that same module is fine, but Q18 you do not want to use. It was quite unexpected, but I kind of felt that shit before it happened because I just had told him to watch out and be careful. And as soon as I said that, the next thing I done, it went boop. I have some 15 meter E-match, so I got plenty of wire for stuff like that. That's just another thing you got to hunt around for. Yep, I used to go to Blumpsville, Tennessee to get my fireworks from Fireworks Supermarket back when I used to buy retail. Their prices are high as shit, but they're still cheaper than Phantom back in the old days. Memphis, Tennessee. Oh man, I was just talking about Memphis, Tennessee. That was no. It might have just been the area I was in, but that was the roughest place I've ever been. I had to spend like 2 months there. Dude, I wasn't far from Graceland and stuff there. What is it, West Memphis? It was very dangerous. I went from the hotel. I'm like, I don't care. I'll go where I want. I'm walking through these bad neighborhoods, the streets and stuff are paved in glass. And these two dudes come from the other side of the 4 lane and started walking up on me. I could feel they go right my ass. Cover of all, but I was looking in the ditch, man. I found a drive shaft off a car. I picked that some bitch up, put it over my shoulder, and stopped. Them dudes went back to the other side of the road. I couldn't figure out why this crazy white guy was out there walking around at 3 a.m. I was like, fuck, I need some cigarettes. I don't care whose neighborhood this is. Hotel I was staying in was a nice hotel at one time. And it must have been closed for years, right? And a bunch of Pakistanis bought it and they reopened it. And you'd open the door and the room was like in a haunted hotel or shit. There was like a layer of dust on every fucking thing in the room. The pool in the back of the place was like black with sludge and shit where people had thrown all kinds of crap into it. It was crazy. I could lay in my hotel room and name the different caliber of gunshots that would go off all night, especially on Sunday nights for some reason in West Memphis. That's when everybody parties. I always thought that was kind of strange too, because Sunday is not a party night here. Yo, there was a pimp in the bottom story of the hotel, man. He had a white minivan with a set of horns on it, and he had a Cadillac with a set of fucking horns on it, man. He'd shuttle the hose around in the minivan. I'd never been to a place like that before, man. I'm from small town country. It was like, holy shit. I went back home for a couple weeks. I come back armed. I was like, fuck this place. It was different, bro. Like I said, the place that I was at, the only club that white guys could go to and hang out without having problems was strip clubs. All the other clubs you didn't want to go to where I was at. I didn't know anywhere else, man. So I didn't want to go exploring. Besides, all I had to drive was like a minivan camper, like a VW kind of camper on a fucking Isuzu truck frame kind of thing that a hippie couple let me borrow. It was really strange trying to drive that through Memphis. I've always went on some crazy adventures in life. I miss some of my old adventures now that I've gotten too old. Well, too wise to do such adventures, I guess. Dude, I had to prop the frigging couch that come in my hotel room up against the wall just to keep the prostitutes from forcing their way into your room. I was like, holy shit, what kind of place did I find myself into here? Believe me, it was definitely culture shock. Hell, I seen two dudes going side by side down the highway shooting at each other from car to car with a cop like two cars back. He had to be watching that shit. He acted like he didn't see shit. I'd lay there and hear gunshots and stuff all night. Meanwhile, I made friends with a bunch of raccoons and stuff that lived behind the hotel, and I'd hang out with them and feed them Cheetos. I had a raccoon army. I'd sick them on people if they bothered me. Train them little fuckers. Shit, you know, I did. I've always had a thing for animals, and that was the only critters I could find. Raccoons are pretty smart, and their loyalty is bought with Cheetos for sure. Seriously, man. Somebody give me a hard time and I throw a Cheeto at them, they're fucked. Because there's like 10 of them at one point. As long as I got my raccoon army and a bag of Cheetos, I'm good to go. When I went home for the weekend, I come back with a fucking 45, though. I didn't quite know what I was walking into when I first went there, you know. See, I had a pet raccoon when I was growing up for a pretty good number of years there. He was litter trained, lived in the house and everything like a cat. So I got pretty used to them and their ways of doing shit. There's one thing about a raccoon, you cannot wear them out. I don't care how long you play with that raccoon, they do not get tired. They just keep going continuously. It's like the Terminator. It will not stop. I have to figure out a way to change over my old VHS tapes from my camcorder days with my raccoon. I done this one video called Hillbilly Workout with the raccoon sticking to my leg and shit. It was pretty good. Oh, I brought some of those too. You better believe it. I wasn't gonna be the only guy there without a friggin' gun. It was an interesting chapter, I guess, but it was an adventure all the same. I found this one bar that they didn't have closing time. They served 24 hours a day, man. I spent like 2.5 days in there once. I was like, holy shit. It's like Hotel California or the House of the Rising Sun or shit. I was like, what day is it? I was like, fuck. Once it got past 3 a.m., they just started serving it in red cups, man. Shit, that raccoon would break that Energizer Bunny's neck. Some bitch was strong as hell. Big, too. He got to be like a 30-something pound raccoon. He was a monster. Fat as hell, man. Love fried chicken. Some bitch sit next to you. He'd watch Star Trek with me. Watch TV, man. The whole time he's sitting there watching Star Trek, looking at the screen, he's got his hand in your pocket. As soon as he gets a hold of something, he pulls that shit out, runs under the couch. I've had him eat a whole pack of cigarettes in a matter of seconds. Just tear into that shit. or take your car keys from you and run through the house. He thinks that shit's funny. And I had a pet raccoon. I had a pet groundhog. Horses, cows, dogs, and cats, of course, and various other things. Yeah, yeah, that's what I remind me of when I see him. Yeah, the raccoon, because that's what he looked like too, except for the talking part. Although he did do a lot of talking in raccoon language. They make all kinds of wild sounds. A lot more sounds than you'd think. He could probably have used a lighter, man. They're pretty damn smart. Their taste buds are also in their hands. That's why they get their hands wet when they're eating and shit. It helps them taste their food from their hands. Very strange adaptation. This one was going to be used as a training raccoon to train a guy's coon dogs. They were going to kill it, pretty much run it down. And it was a baby, so I was like, hell, I'll buy it. So I took it and made a pet out of it. I have a cat now I call Cootie Coon because I was getting in my truck in the dark completely on this one lake country road. And I could see something that was running around at my feet. I didn't know what it was in the darkness, but I knew something was there. And I just reached down and grabbed it. And I was like, it's either a kitten or a friggin' raccoon, one of the two. Luckily, I pulled it up and it was a kitten. Just grabbed the shit out of the darkness, put it up to my face. I'm like, what the hell is this? Oh, it's a cat. All right. Play the lottery. I should. 9 threes and sixes have the most percentage rate of being drawn than any other number. To a significant percentage, actually. Oh God, man! If I ever want to get rid of a rat, all you gotta do is get a weasel. Have you ever seen weasels go after rats? It is insane. They kill with the efficiency of like Assassin's Creed or some shit. They'll jump on a rat, bite it in the brain pan, kill that son bitch with one strike, and move on to the next. They can kill a whole giant rat nest in a matter of seconds. It's insane. I've seen videos of it on YouTube. I'm like, holy shit! This guy trained one to attack. They go in a woodpile and run these giant, big ass rats out. That son bitch you kill them in one bite and go on to the next. You had a pile of them in a matter of seconds. Weasel power, man. They're efficient little fuckers. Gotta respect that. Yeah, I seen that. It's cool. Well, weasel all the same. It's still a fucking weasel. I used to watch this guy that had a leased weasel named Ozzy, and that was the cutest little thing ever, man. It's like ground squirrel sized weasel. Mean as hell. Cute as hell, too. You have to look that up. Ozzy the leased weasel. It's cute. He attacked shit off the dude's desk, but it was on YouTube. Oh, they're a killing machine. I think they're cute, though. I've seen a mink once in the wild up in Pocahontas Forest. It's like a natural game reserve that goes on for hundreds of square miles. Close enough, man. It's past 3 o'clock, and I heard fireworks go off at 3 a.m., so I don't know what that's about. I hope that was fireworks. It was either that or a 12 gauge. I don't see why anybody would be on the river letting off fireworks right now, though, because it's cold as fuck out there. Unless they're like me and they're just getting their wholesale order in and they're practicing and they're stupid. Yep, I went with a lot of angled pancakes, man. That you got caught red-handed seems to be a pretty nice cake. Shooting the dog, all right. The dog didn't bark, man, and my next door neighbor's got a yard full. I hate hearing them bark, but they are good for letting me know if there's anybody out there messing around. I put cameras up all around my house and shit. Somebody was stealing the yard ornaments out of my yard, and that pissed me off. Got to protect my yard now. I made a laser fence out of a bar laser, a solar light, and a car alarm. Anybody that breaks the laser fence sets off the car alarm. I have to protect the yard now. Sons of bitches already stole my hand blown glass mushrooms. They were expensive as fuck. Trying to make my house presentable because it's, there beside the road. Everybody drives by it. But when they drive by and they see their laser line going across my whole front yard, they know to stay the hell away from it. They're not wireless. I got them hardwired directly into my system, man. So there is no hacking into my cameras. But the problem is I put them up on the white steel awning that goes around my house, and the white casings on the cameras. You can't really see the damn things, and I wanted people to see them. People see cameras, they stay away from your shit. Dude, I still pay for a heat pump. Check this story out. I'll lay this one on you. Now, I used to live in the next county up from where I live now, right? And I come down during Christmas for 2 weeks to visit my mother and stuff and stay with her during the holidays. So I'm gone from my home for 2 weeks, and I come home and my water lines are gone. My power had been stripped out of the house. They stole my heat pump, the air handler, and everything out of the yard, the hot water tank out of my bathroom, and stripped my house in a matter of 2 weeks. I had to move from my house I owned. I still have to pay a payment each month on that friggin' heat pump. To this day, I'm still paying for the heat pump every month. It's only like $100, but it still pisses me off every month. Yeah, probably some pillheads or something. The worst part about it, at the time I'm working in a prison, I have to put up with that shit 24 hours a day while somebody's stealing my shit. That's lovely. Actually, this old house that I got here, Axel, was a railroad house, and it had a boiler system set up in it, and it was from the 1950s, I believe, and I cleaned it and restored it and everything like that and got it working, and I used it for one season, and it was expensive as hell on gas. So then I just run the rest of the house with gas wall heaters and stuff like that, and it heats it pretty cheaply now, which that's good. It's actually a little bit cheaper than what electricity would probably cost. Gas is a little bit more dangerous, but I keep a pretty good eye on my stuff. Just sucks, man, that you can have something going and have people come in and just completely destroy it during the holidays in a matter of 2 weeks. That really sucked. I think I'm just now recovering from that crap. That's been years ago. It sucks to have to start over. I rented for a while. That just sucked. Putting up with landlords and stuff like that is not for me. That and just throwing your money away. And I'm like, I come across this house and a good deal is like, oh, shoot, it's less than what I was paying for rent. So I'm like, hell yeah. Yeah. I don't want to do that, man. Yeah, you got to protect what you have for sure. I've had that, and I had my car broken into. I think it was the same year or the year after. I had a nice car that I'd done car shows and stuff, and I had a really impressive stereo system, amps and TVs, and DVD players back in the day, and all that, and game system built into the car, all this shit. I drove it one night to meet this chick, and somebody robbed my car. That's acre stuff, shit like that. No, somebody robbed it because I left it because side of the road because of a snowstorm. That's what it was. Yeah, I got caught out in a snowstorm. It was a sudden snowstorm, right? So I parked the car for about, I don't know, maybe an hour, 2 hours beside the road in a parking lot because it was clear. Went up the road for a little while at this little bar or some shit. Had a couple of beers and come back, and my back glass was shattered. My stereo and all that shit was gone. Come back and called the cops and all that shit. And the cops, the main thing they wanted to know is why I had all that stuff in my car, like it was my fault. I'm like, because I wanted it, and I worked hard for it. Shit, it doesn't give a person a right to steal it. I wasn't even playing the stereo loud. The car was parked, man. It was just somebody come by and seen all that nice shit in it and decided to help themselves. During the snowstorm, there wasn't really much moving, man. There's like four wheelers and stuff out. I'd say it was a bunch of kids on a four wheeler that done it from the tracks and everything. I even took another Camaro to the same exact spot, set it up like the hood was propped and stuff like that. We cut off the fuel pump with the switch and cranked it like it wouldn't start, everything, and then me and my buddies hid in the ditch with some baseball bats and waited. Nobody would touch it. Oh yeah, the doors is locked. They smashed the whole back glass out of the car. Popped the hood, cut the battery cable off the positive line to turn the alarm off and shit. They were definitely familiar with what they were doing. About $3,000 worth of damage and stuff that they took out of the car. They didn't get my head unit too because I installed that son of a bitch hardcore. I had that head unit bolted to the dash itself. It wasn't going anywhere. They pried on it, fucked it up a little bit, but they couldn't steal it. They got my amps, they got my speakers, the TVs, the game systems, all that shit. Nah, actually, I think they did take the CD changer. There might have been some CCR in there. I don't know. I hope they get justice. So whoever did it, cops don't care. If they can't give you a ticket for it, they're not interested. They're not really interested in finding your shit or who's even robbing you. There's no money in it for them. That's been my experience. State cops seem to be a little bit more honorable, though. Locals, it depends on where you're at. Of course, that's just been my experience. Now, these are the same cops that can spot an expired inspection sticker in the dark in a snowstorm for a mile and pull you over for that. But they don't see the guy smashing in your shit beside the main highway. Damn. Well, I guess luckily, if you can call it luck, they just cut the positive cable on mine, and I was able to put it back together enough to drive the car. It was a shitty experience, but I keep a better eye on stuff now. That's why I got the cameras. I guess I was trying to explain why I was so paranoid. I don't care about this fireworks stuff. I mean, I don't have anything near that impressive that would be, but I definitely worry about people messing with my shit. I hated today. The neighbor lady wanted me to look at her van because it's been running like shit. She had it at a garage for over a month now. She had me take her back to get her van, and they replaced her. Supposed to place the fuel rail or done something to it, and had it for over a month. She said they even stole a bunch of shit out of her car, charged her a fortune. The car's running worse now than it was when they got a hold of it. She wanted me to look at it, and I started looking at the van and shit. I started moving stuff around, checking connections, found a couple of little vacuum leaks, stuff like that, which, could affect how it runs for sure. But I noticed the damn throttle body wasn't even bolted on tight. I could turn the bolts on the throttle body with my bare fingers. I was like, oh shit, they didn't even tighten the bolts. It looks like they put the intake manifold on without even replacing the gasket because it sounds like it's sucking air from air too. I don't know if they half finished it or wasn't done or what, but I checked the codes and stuff like that, and it's throwing a code from the number 3 fuel injector circuit malfunction, so that's probably the problem she was trying to explain. It's hard to have a chick explain to you a car problem that don't speak car. There's a multitude of things, dude. When I saw the throttle body move and I grabbed a hold of it with my hands, I was like, oh shit, that's got to be on there airtight. That's what meters the fuel that comes into the engine and shit. If that's off, everything's off. But then I also noticed the number 3 fuel injector is not working, so I'd say that's the problem she was talking about. Dude, I don't think they even put a gasket on. I think they put it back on there without a fucking gasket. That's what it looks like. And charged her like $700. I tightened the throttle body down for her and told her that would help it a lot, because I could move it with my hands and turn the bolts with my fingers, but that number 3 fuel injector is not going to get any better. I'll check it tomorrow and see if it's just maybe it's not plugged in good, check the harness connection and shit. But if they mess with the fuel rail, they probably run a bunch of gunk, took it off and got a bunch of dirt and shit in it, and it's clogged that injector probably. That's my theory. I try to help out when I can. Hey, what's doing? Having it easy tips and tricks. You can't sleep either, eh? Well, I guess it's not that late up where you're at in California, right? It's throwing a code for number 3 cylinder circuit malfunction on the fuel injector. So it's that or it's not plugged in good one. I'll have to check it tomorrow. I know a lot of old timers have used Marvel Mystery Oil for a lot of different things and shit in the past, but I've never used it myself. Well, no, I take that back. I think I did use it one time to pour in an engine that was set outside for a long time and was froze up. We got it unfroze from that by letting that stuff soak on it, stuff for a day or two in the cylinders. I'm not really big on additives though. It's 3:48 a.m. here. And it's getting cold, so I think I'm going to shut down this stream and get in here in my recliner where I can sit back for a while. It probably does. That van of hers has got like 280,000 miles on it. It's also had a lot of hands worked on it too. I kept taking stuff and looking at it and missing bolts and nuts and fasteners and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit. I will, man, slowly though. Like I said, I kind of jacked myself up and stuff with it a little bit when I was bringing it up the stairs. But yeah, I'll eventually get everything moved out of the way. I'm trying to find a place for last year's pyro, so I can move in the new stuff and get it on better display. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate it. Forgot the wall, bro. It's not gonna keep anybody out. Only a few. Oh yeah, yeah. I think he's talking about my firework wall. Hell with Trump. I don't like him, but we don't want to get back on that subject. Yep. Good night, everybody. Like I said, I appreciate it.